Yeah, Shalom. Shalom. I'm just coming back at you again with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect, and much love unto the Akim that's in the four corners of the earth, worshiping Yahweh Hashem Yahushai in sincerity. So I'm going to go into the word open-minded today.
Open-minded.
Right, as you see on the screen, and it says willing to consider new ideas, unprejudiced, unbiased, unprejudiced, prejudice-free, accepting, nonpartisan. And you hear this term being used a lot within our society, especially in a liberal society, a democratic society. They always like to push that idea of being open-minded, and a lot of people who buy into that type of thinking, they tend to push that on others, and they tend to demonize you if you are not open-minded. And that's why we catch a lot of flack when we go on the highways and byways, because the doctrine that we push is not about being open-minded. We are not willing to consider new ideas. And just for the record, a lot of people on my daily walk that I do, my day-to-day thing, when I go to work or when I engage with certain people, it's usually women or females that have adopted this mindset of being open-minded. And that I can see that. I understand why a lot of females think this way, because that goes back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter. About Eve eyes being open when she went into the path of the dark side, which is understanding evil, understanding wickedness. But I also I'm going to bring that out, but I also want to go into how the Lord himself, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, they are not open-minded, and the men of the Lord are never going to be open-minded. Now, I had an incident where, just going on Genesis, the 3rd chapter, because just thinking about how Adam was persuaded by his woman to indulge in wickedness. I had a situation where I was dealing with a female, and it's not the first time when I've dealt with females. They always do this, but they because they're wicked, right? They'll ask you, hey, have you ever tried anal sex? Because anal sex is a big thing in the society, apparently. Right? You'll see that a lot. It's very big here. It's promoted heavily. And what she would do was, she would dress up nice, right? Act all extra sexy and shit. And then when she would do that, and she would think that she would get me relaxed, then she would be like, hey, have you ever tried anal sex before? And she's like, oh, she'll try and persuade you to do it. She'll give you all these examples, all these testimonies about how her friends were doing it and said that it won't hurt or whatever. That's a type of open-mindedness these women are about, man. That's what they like to do. All right, and that's exactly what happened to Adam. All right, so that is perfectly normal. That's a normal thing to go through. You're gonna always get that. But it just shows you how this demon of being open-minded has caused a lot of men to fall, man. And I'm gonna read it right now. It caused great men in the Bible to fall. What was it? Samson, King David, even Solomon, the greatest king to ever live and forever to live, forever and ever, the greatest king forever and ever, King Solomon, because he is Yahushai. They've all indulged in being open-minded, right? So anyway, let's move on. This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. It says, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh Hashem Yahushai thy power had made. And he said unto the woman, ye hath the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And you know, he was subtle because he was very smart, he was very cunning. All right, and he was evil. Basically, he was very evil. He was known to use a lot of deceit. And what you see here, he says, ye hath, the Most High said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. He asked her a question. And this devil was basically giving her a psychoanalysis. He was probing her and asking her questions. Because he did very well know that the Lord was dealing with Adam and Eve at that time. Right? Remember, the trees in the garden were jealous of Adam. So they knew about that. So he wanted to probe her. And you know how he's miserable. So if he's miserable, he wants to make everybody else miserable. So he's going to do it. He's going to make you miserable by probing you and asking you questions, man. That's how Esau gets down. And by the way, the serpent in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and even back then, it represents Esau today because he comes in that same spirit. Verse 2, and the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh Shem Shai, thy power has said, he shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So she knew that that tree was forbidden. You know, that form of knowledge was forbidden. Okay. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. Now, he doesn't lie, and he doesn't tell the truth either. He just words it differently, and that's why he was so subtle. Because Esau, he likes to use a lot, or E, we'll use the term E, he likes to use a lot of new speech. And, you know, he likes to word things differently, and he likes to put things in a gray area. That's why when you look into this devil's judicial system, or the Supreme Court, and you read their laws, it's always subject to change. There's always loopholes. Things aren't really black and white. And that's because this devil set up the laws for himself so he can get out of any situation when he commits a crime or he does an injustice act. And really, the judicial system in this country is just a big front, right? It's just a big front, and it's really just a playground for the Kaiser elite that rule this world, man. It's just a big facade. It's just a big front, man. Verse 5, for the Most High doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And this is the point, man. Opened. Your eyes shall be open, and that eye is your spiritual eye. And that's really opening up your mind. You see, us men that come into this truth, we're opened up. Our mind's open. We're open-minded. But what are we opened up to? We're opened up to Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay? And yes, we are open-minded on the right-hand side. What do I mean by that? I'll give you an example. Right? The reason why we're opened up. Well, I'll use the elders apostles right now. Okay? When they first came on YouTube, and when they started pushing out this truth, it started to evolve because the Lord had allowed them to become more open-minded in righteousness. What do I mean by that? Well, okay, first they started off with like a camcorder going out, and then they uploaded the videos to YouTube, right? Now, recently, I believe, past 4 years, I believe now, they've been going live. Okay, now they can live stream. Right? They're taking advantage of all the resources that are around them instead of just doing the same thing. Now they can go live on their smartphones, and now they can engage with the audience of the viewers live. They can answer their questions. Okay, and that pushes the word even further. That allows to get the word right now as they speak. That allows more people to be sealed. Instead of having individuals wait a couple days to get the word, and then within that couple of days, your YouTube channel can be shut down. That's all being open-minded and proactive and accepting new ideas to do the work of the Lord. Okay? So there are both sides to being open-minded. Okay? You have a good side and you have a bad side. So I just want to make that clear before I go on. And it says, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And that's right. When you are open-minded, now you are aware of good and evil, of good and evil. I mean, and how that can put you up in a godly state. Okay, and that's why Yahweh Bashem Yahushai allowed us to dabble into wickedness or into evil, because we have to see what it's like. Now, in order for you to be a real God, you have to understand good and evil. You have to understand the effects that it has, the emotions, and the physical things that it brings into existence. All right. So let me get 1 Kings chapter 22 verse 19, and he said, Hear thou therefore the word of Yahweh. I saw Yahweh sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. Okay, and the host of heavens is going into the angels. Okay, now look at this. It says, standing by him on his right hand and on his left. Okay, so you had right-handed angels and you have left-handed angels. And it goes on further to expound on this point that I'm about to make. And Yahweh said, Who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And there came forth a spirit and stood before Yahweh and said, I will persuade him. And Yahweh said unto him, Wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit. So this is a devil, okay, a deceiving spirit. It was really a demon, a devil, okay, that hopped on the prophets. Okay, so Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, being the ultimate power, he understands and he dabbles into the right and the left, and he knows what it can do, and he knows the outcomes that it could bring. And you see that play out on how mankind, what I mean the Israelites, on how they go through it, on how they get to live it out through the Lord's will. All right, so it's very important to understand that, and that's why we are open to wickedness right now. Right, even though in a sense we are all open-minded, but that doesn't mean we actually do it and we accept it. We know of how wickedness is. Like, for example, you see another man have his wife or his woman. You don't go fucking sleep with the man's wife. But you know that you could do it, but you don't do it because it's wicked, right? But these people, they'll just do it. They just accept it and they'll do it, carefree, you know. Anyway, it says here, let's move on. Verse 6, Genesis 3 and 6, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes. And that's how sin is. It's very pleasant at first. It's very pleasant to the eyes. You know, it looks good. But the effects afterwards, it kills you. And a tree to be desired to make one wise. She took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her. And he did eat. Yeah, it can make you somewhat wise. But we know through the scriptures that's not entirely true. Because the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Let's get it. This is Sirach 19, verse 22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sin or prudence. So now we know, okay, knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. Even though there's knowledge behind it, it doesn't really mean it's wise. It's not wisdom. Because when you look at how this place plays out, our society today, when you look at the knowledge of wickedness, look what it has done to the minds of the people. Look what it has done to the environment. You have pollution. You have cars that are running off of fossil fuels, and those fossil fuels, what do? They pollute the earth. Cars are supposed to be made to run on water and certain biodegradable oils. Okay, not finite resources that can't be replenished, and then at the same time they cause damage to the environment or the earth. Now that's what I'm talking about, how the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. And the list goes on. There's many more examples of that. That'll take a long time to explain. So it says, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So he ate it, man. He took it, Adam, and the eyes of them were both, the eyes of them both were open, so they were both open-minded. And they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. And they heard the voice of Yahweh walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, thy power, amongst the trees of the garden. Alright. And the Lord called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. Yeah, he was naked, man, spiritually. Okay, spiritually naked. Alright. He was, spiritually, he lost it, man. Okay. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. Now he was blaming it on his woman, man. Alright, but it was really his fault because he is the head. He is the patriarch. You can't let the weaker vessel lead you into perdition. You have to put her in check. Now, anyways, let me move on to how, the Lord, he doesn't change, man. The Lord is not open-minded. Let's switch it up. Malachi chapter 3, verse 6. For I am Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. This is talking, well, and it's all capital letters. This is talking about the Father, Yahweh. For I am Yahweh, I change not. Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. Alright, the Lord, he does not change. He goes into the old ways. And the Lord, he doesn't change his mind. When the Lord says he's going to do something, he's going to do it. Okay, and if he did change, we would be dead right now. But the Lord, he does everything for his name's sake. And the Lord is a power that cannot lie. So he doesn't change, and he's not a liar. People who are open-minded, they're liars. A lot of them are liars. Okay, and they're very two-faced, and they're unstable. Actually, let me get that. James chapter 1, verse 8. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. And that's a double-minded man is an open-minded man. Okay, that can't stay on one thing, or on one topic, or on one philosophy. He can't stick to the scriptures. He's not consistent. Alright, so, okay, let's get Jeremiah chapter 6, verse 16. Thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, or Yahweh, stand ye in the ways and see and ask for the old past. And that's what you should be asking for. Not trying to do too much and be open-minded and accepting. And that's why the apostles say, you know what, we ain't debating nobody. If you can't get it, move on. If you can't get it, move on. We don't got time to waste with vocab. We don't got time to waste with, what's his name, Sonnetter. You don't have time for that. Because we're not open-minded. They're about being committing folly. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and you shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. So you got to seek the old past, man, which is the law, statutes, commandments, and calling upon the name of your power. That's the old way, the old-fashioned way. Now let's get Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8. This is talking about Yahushai. Hamashiach Yahushai, the same yesterday and today and forever. The Lord will never change. He will always be doing the will of his Father. Verse 9, be not carried about with diverse and strange doctrines. Right? So you can't be accepting of new ideas. Being a Muslim, being a Buddhist, being a Christian, believing in yourself and putting all these idols above the Heavenly Father. You can't do that. Be not carried away by those things. For it is a good thing that the heart be established with grace, not with meats, which have not profited them that have been occupied therein. We have an altar whereof they have no right to each serve the tabernacles. Alright, so, Don't be carried away by strange philosophies, man. Last scripture, Colossians chapter 2 verse 8, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. Okay, and our people, they're spoiled through philosophy today. They believe all their life they were told, you gotta go to school. Oh, actually, you gotta go to school. You gotta get your car, get your house, get your woman or whatever. Yeah, all right. You graduate, you make your 30,000 a year or your 40,000 a year, and you pump out 2 kids. You have a dog or a cat. Okay, your wife gets tired of you. All right, and then that's it. Okay, not knowing that you have a higher calling, you have a better purpose in life. You're really set up to serve the Lord first, and when you serve the Lord first, all the things will be added on to you. Our people are not thinking like that, and that's because they're spoiled through philosophy, vain deceit, and the traditions of man, because that's the tradition in North America, man, or that's the American dream. All right, and you Negroes, you should be waking up, man. Well, not Negroes, for lack of better words, you tribes, you Israelites, from Judah all the way down to Issachar, that tradition ain't for you. All right, that way of life ain't for you, because it has never worked for you on this side, trying to fit in and follow the ways of Esau and the other nations. After the rudiments of the world, the rudiments means the principles of the world. Okay, that's what it goes into. Principles, fundamentals, the way of the world, and not after Yahweh Shai. Alright? So that's it, man. You're not supposed to be open-minded. It will destroy you. And you'll be spoiled, and you'll be left looking stupid. Just like how our people are left looking stupid today. Fighting over Popeye sandwiches, killing each other for Jordans. Just a damn mocking. Just a damn shame, man. Anyway, with that, just want to give all praises, glory, and honor due unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Until next time, Shalom, Kwame Asha Allah, Abad Baal.